guys, welcome to my soft-spoken ASMR reading wrap-up for the month of February. I know that February is not quite done yet, but I am going to Costa Rica, yay! Starting on Friday, so I finished these books because half of them I actually got from the library this month. So I wanted to make sure that I read them in time and returned them before my trip. And I thought I would do my reading wrap up a couple days before the end of the month because, again, I will be traveling on the last day of the month. And I might do some videos in Costa Rica. I probably will. But for right now, this is just a reading wrap up for February. As far as March goes, I do have some books that I want to read just on my own as a mood read type thing because I'm on vacation and I have certain books I want to read on vacation. So I won't be doing my TBR jar for March. I might return to it in April. Probably will. So without further ado, let's get to it. The first book I read was by Maya Angelou. It's not her most famous book, but it is Singing and Swinging and Getting Merry Like Christmas. It smells really good because it's a used book. I like the way used books smell. And yes, this was the first book I read for February. It's really short, it's only like 300 pages, and it's really good. Maya Angelou is a really good writer. It's sort of autobiographical about her life in San Francisco and New York. So I gave this 4 stars. It wasn't quite a 5, didn't hit that level, but I like her writing, I like her style. I think she's very literary and she can suck you into the story and it's enjoyable. So that was good. Now the next book that I read for the month of February was a library book. I read it for a book club that I'm actually a part of. And that one is Blah by Maggie Sue. Blah. So this one's interesting. It's about an amorphous blob that this girl finds at a dumpster, and she's kind of feeling down on herself and lonely. And so this amorphous blob actually comes to life, and then she actually falls in love with him. But then, you know, there's some twists and turns with it. This one is a short read. This is probably, well, besides the poetry book I read later that I'll talk about, this is probably one of the shorter books I read for the month. Let me see how many pages it is. 240 pages, and it's like a brand new book. I think she just came out with this one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but it wasn't like a top read for me. It was fun to read. It passed the time. I read it quickly, so I gave this 3 stars, and I'm excited to talk about it in my book club. Then the next book I read was actually a collection of poetry by T.S. Eliot. It's some of his selected poems and some of his most famous ones. I remember there is this coffee shop that I used to go to. It was called Teaspoons in Iowa City, where I went to school. And they had a quote on there from here, and it was about measuring your life in coffee spoons. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yes. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons, and I remember it hanging up on the coffee shop wall, and I would see it a lot, and it was just a pleasant memory. I love that coffee shop. They were always so nice to me. But yeah, I'm a big coffee girl, so coffee shops are important to me. But yeah, and it does have like his famous quotes, like April is the cruelest month, and things like that. T.S. Eliot, is a good poet, but I'm more of a prose person, so it's kind of hard for me to really get into a book of poetry, but I did end up giving this 3 stars. I found it enjoyable. I like his writing, but again, I'm more prose versus poetry. I get more into it. So, but I did enjoy this. Now, my book of the month pick was First Time Caller. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. B.K. Borison. B.K. Borison. Now, I think she is a relatively new author. I don't think she has too many books out there. But I love the colors of this book. This pretty pink and this pretty yellow just goes well together. I have to say, I think it was a bit long for a romance novel. It's about this woman, and her daughter calls into this podcast or a radio show, and it's like a love dating radio show, and her daughter calls in for her. She feels like she needs help in that department, and it's kind of predictable what happens, but I still enjoyed it. I still found it fun. I gave it a 3 stars only because romances are never going to be 5 stars for me. I'll just say that. Unless I should never say never, but unless it knocks my socks off, I'm not going to give it a 5. So I gave it a 3, but I still really enjoyed it. I had a great time, and I love the cover. So I know that sounds silly, and I like the smell of new books too, but it made me happy to see this cover every time I went back to this book. So, and I read it pretty quickly, so yeah, 3 stars. Then the next book I read was actually my favorite book of the month, and that was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is very cute. Very, very cute. I gave this 5 stars. It's about a man who's lonely, and he's like a caseworker, a social work caseworker, and he gets this special assignment to go to this faraway place with these unruly children, quote unquote, and check out the orphanage and see if it's good enough to stay in business. And it's so sweet, it's so endearing, it gave me a lot of nostalgia. It reminded me a lot of the Lemony Snicket Series of Unfortunate Events, and James and the Giant Peach. It gave me those kind of vibes. So I was very much here for it, and I would very much love to see this turned into a TV series or movie. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars. That's the only 5 stars I had for the month of February, but I'm definitely going to read the next book in the series. I already ordered it on eBay, so I'm excited for that to come. I won't be here for a month, but I'm still excited for that. But yeah, I'm really glad I read this, and this is another library book that I have to return. So, and last but not least, I read The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. The Spell Shop. And look at those beautiful sprayed edges, that beautiful lilac color. I love it. Yeah, I love the way library books sound. That's so nice. Anyway, Yeah, just as a side note, if it is a newer book, like that came out within a year or two, I do try to get the library version just because I don't like having to, I don't like having to spend too much on new books because it can get kind of pricey, especially ones with images. So, but yes, this was great. I kind of supplemented it with the audiobook because I had a kind of deadline to finish this book so I could return it in time before my trip. So I gave this 3 stars. It was cozy, fun fantasy. It's whimsical. Kind of made me excited for spring because of the cottagey garden imagery. For some reason, I'm excited about my trip too. But yeah, it was missing something for me. I didn't like. There was just something about it that I felt wasn't like quite a 5 stars. There was something missing there. But regardless, I still enjoyed my reading experience. So those were the books. Thank you as always for watching. Feel free to like or comment and subscribe to my channel. I make books at least once a month going over my reading wrap-ups for that month. And it's all ASMR, all soft-spoken or whispers. And I do plan on doing more book videos. It's all I do on my channel's book videos, but I maybe do some hauls. I got a book haul that might be coming, and maybe just like show you reading in Costa Rica and things like that. So there's exciting things that are coming in the future, so please stay tuned, and I appreciate each and every